Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to EQ your kick and bass like a pro. So if you feel like you don't really know what to do when it comes to EQing your kick and bass, make sure to watch this video till the end because I'm going to teach you everything you need to know so you can start EQing your kick and bass and get a really nice sound. So before we even start EQing our kick and bass, we need to make sure that we are using high quality samples if we're talking about the kick, and when it comes to the bass, make sure it works together with your kick. So let me explain more in detail how that thing works. So for example, guys, in this case, my track is in the key of D, and when you have a kick, I really prefer using a synthesizer, kick drum synthesizer, that is called Kick 2. I have made a full tutorial on this one, so make sure to watch it. I will put a link somewhere here and by the end of this video as well. And why I love using this plugin is because you can shape the kick however you want. I don't want to go in detail how to use this plugin. I'm just going to tell you the basics you need to know. And when you are using a kick synthesizer plugin, you can make the kick fit the key of your track, and this is what you really need to do because I've tried many things and many approaches, and I found out that when your kick and the bass are in the key of the track, they usually sound best and they really work together. And if you are using a sample, so let me guys quickly show you. If for example I use just a random sample, maybe bass drums, let's take like classic drum. Maybe this one. I'm just gonna pick a random one. And now what I'm gonna do, let's adjust the length and solo the kick and the bass. The problem when you are using samples is that you can get tricked by the click. So if I mute the kick or just use a filter and cut the high frequencies, it seems like it's working with the bass, but in many cases it just doesn't work. So let me show you. I'm going to apply the filter on the master channel and we're going to listen to the sub, just the low frequencies. It doesn't really sound that clean, that nice, so this is why I prefer using kick drum synthesizer. And if I listen the kick drum I've made, you can now guys clearly hear that it's working with the bass because it's the same key, because I adjusted the length, the shape and the pitch points, as you guys can see here. So it's really working together with the bass. And now guys, we can move to the EQing part. When you sure and when you know that the kick and bass, they work together, it's fine, we can start EQing everything. And the first thing I usually do to my kicks is I use a high pass filter. So in this example I've set the high pass filter at 37 Hertz. You can cut I think till 40. In some cases you can even go to 50 Hertz, but it's not gonna have, the kick is not gonna have a lot of lower frequencies, a lot of sub, so it's completely up to you how you want your kick to sound. But usually you don't need anything below 40 or like 37 Hertz for your kick, because that place is taken by the bass. Usually bass has lower frequencies and we don't want that our kick to clash, like the frequencies of our kick clashes with the frequencies of our bass. So yeah, make sure to cut the low end, and now it's all about finding and identifying those frequencies that you want to reduce or boost. But usually when I'm working with the digital equalizers, I cut and I add frequencies with an analog emulation. So in this case, guys, let me show you. If I mute everything and we just listen to the kick and to the bass, yeah, it still sounds okay because I've applied sidechain, because I've made this kick especially for my bass so it works. And now I'm gonna cut here at 100. So you guys can hear when I boost 100, we get less space for our bass. So when we are mixing, when we are EQing something, it's always about the space. We need to decide which element, which instrument is more important. And I usually try to focus on the bass. Kick is also really important, but sometimes you can cut. So let's say 100. It's all about experience. So I'm doing this by ear. I just felt like that 100 hertz I can reduce a little. The next thing I like doing with my kicks is that I usually cut around 200-300, because when it comes to EQing the kick, usually it's where like that boxy sound sits. So let me show you guys. I'm going to cut more so you can really hear the difference. So this is with an EQ, but if I bypass the EQ, it sounds a bit weird. I don't like it. So usually what I tend to do with my kicks, I cut that low part, the low mids of my kick, and I sometimes can boost the top, maybe here, maybe do something like that. So if you imagine like a curve, this is your kick. If you cut the mids, it's gonna have that nice low end, the punch, but it won't have a lot of frequencies in the middle. So once again, guys, it's up to you how you want your kick to sound, but usually for my tracks, for my taste, I prefer using this method. And what else you can do? You can, yeah, let me find some EQing I've done. Yeah, so something like that. And I don't like doing a lot of EQing to my sounds, because I think in electronic dance music we are making a sound from scratch, and it's more about the sound design. If you have to do a lot of fancy things like EQing, compressing, saturation, yes, of course you need to do all of these things, but it's always about the balance. So you should not fix the problem itself. If it's a wrong sample, you need to replace the sample. You can't fix the problem with an EQ. I hope you guys get this one. And this is basically it, how you EQ your kick. So you just balance some frequencies. If your kick works well with your bass, you don't need to do a lot of things. So maybe we can cut, let's say like here, something like that, but I think it's already sounding good. Maybe it's okay to cut like here. Yeah, 1K sounds really good, and maybe boost a little of the top end. So basically, guys, this is it for the kick, and now let's move to the bass. And there's a couple of interesting things when it comes to EQing your bass. So let me show you guys. First, we need to identify where the main harmonic of the kick sits. So in this case, it's about like 50, maybe even 40 hertz, but somewhere here. And what I've done to the bass, I've cut this here, and by doing that you are basically freeing up this space for your kick. So let me show you once again. I'm going to apply the filter on my master channel, and if I bypass this one, the 50 Hz cut, and listen to the kick and the bass together. Now let's do the same thing, but apply that cut. You can clearly hear that we have more space for our kick drum. And basically you need to identify what frequencies, like let's say for the kick, if I want to boost something here, let's say 200 Hz, that means that I'm gonna cut the lows, like the same frequency for my bass line. So basically we are balancing. If you boost something, you need to cut it on the other instrument. The really simple tip or simple concept. And here with the bass, I've done just the same thing. I just listened to the bass and I cut something here, like 120 Hz. So you need to do that by ear, but usually when you want to have a clean and nice low end, usually you need to work in this frequency area. So from 100 to 400, it's the most tricky part. And if you can EQ it, that means that you will have a nice and clean low end. So usually you need to cut little bits of here, like 100, 200. Sometimes you have to cut here, like this area. But usually you don't really need to do a lot if you are getting the right sound from the beginning. This is what I'm teaching you guys, that you should get the right sound from the beginning. Don't try to fix your problems with EQ, with compression. If it really works, you just need to do small little changes here and there, and it's gonna sound fantastic. And usually for the bass, I like to reduce sometimes 400 Hz, sometimes 300 Hz, just to make it more clear and to add a little bit of focus. But usually this frequency area from 300 to 400, or from 2 to 400, is where you can cut many instruments like kick, bass, for example, and that will just free up this space. And let me show you guys. I'm gonna cut a lot so you can really hear the difference. And now without the EQ. Once again with the EQ. Yeah, you can clearly hear the difference. And one last thing, I've shown you guys this plugin in my latest tutorial, how to fix frequency masking, so make sure to watch it. I will include the link at the end of this video, and also here somewhere I'll put a link. And there's one more plugin called Smooth Operator. What it does, it reduces the frequency. It's a dynamic resonance suppressor, and what it does, let me show you guys. If I apply a lot of this effect, it makes the sound more focused, but if you apply too much of it, the sound will lose its natural character. So it's once again about the balance. When you are trying to use an effect, compression, saturation, EQing, don't apply too much. You need to know why you are doing that and what sound you want to achieve. So in this example, I'm just applying a tiny bit to make my low end more focused, and in this case I've chosen to work with 100 Hertz. So as you can see here, guys, I'm freeing up the space for my kick. And one more thing you can do with these type of plugins, you can sidechain the kick to this plugin, and when you combine the classic sidechain like with the volume shaper plus this one, you can get amazing clean low end. And let me show you guys, if I don't use the sidechain, it still sounds good though, but with the sidechain it sounds even better. Yeah, really cool. I like it. And basically, guys, this is it. This is how you EQ your kick, your bass, any kind of instruments. So you, by ear, need to identify what frequencies are not that pleasant, what I want to reduce, what frequencies I want to boost. And it's all about the practice. I've tried to share with you guys my approach, how I EQ my kick, my bass. I hope it makes sense for you guys. I hope that you've learned something. I hope that you found some value in this video. And if you did, please subscribe to the channel, leave your comment below, like this video. Don't forget about that nice little bell icon so you trigger the algorithm and YouTube sees that you guys are enjoying the content, and this will help the channel to grow. If you still have any questions, if something is unclear, welcome to my comments. Ask your questions there. I'll be glad to answer you guys and help you and answer your questions. Also, guys, if you need some help with music production, personal classes, a mentor, a teacher that will make a personal learning plan for you, just send me a message. I'm gonna put a link to my Instagram, so you just say hello, I need help with music production, and I will help you guys. And yeah, we'll see what can I make for you in terms of like a personal learning plan. That was all for today. Thank you very much, guys, for watching this video, and I see you guys in the next one. Bye.